is this on? Hey there, how you doing? I didn't notice that you were already here, so I would have started had I known you'd already shown up. Hey everybody, I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx, and this is your stronghold for rational, reasonable, real gamers. Let's roll the intro.
Where the great would not be constrained by the small.
So today I thought we'd talk about the concept of gatekeeping. Typically, when you hear someone use the term gatekeeping, it's almost always in a negative sense. But in actuality, it is not always negative. In fact, gatekeeping is in many ways a good thing when used correctly. Ooh, that's hot. I got a little burn on the back of my bottom lip here. Been drinking coffee, it's way too hot. This is a ginger, honey, lemon drink. Woo! Real ginger. That's intense. I like it. Let's bring it into the frame. We're talking about gatekeeping in the gaming sense. What that means is that there are people who try to keep other people out of gaming. That's right. There are actually people out there trying to gatekeep the gaming industry as far as developers and publishers go, and trying to gatekeep gamers out of specific games and gaming as a whole. We typically think of the gatekeepers as the radical left-wing anti-gamer propagandists out there masquerading as journalists, but in actuality there are far more than just them. And what we often forget is that we have some power of our own to gatekeep. You see, we are the gaming community, not them. They are the ones who complain and moan about us, telling us how bad we are. Just ask any of these anti-gamer propagandists what they think of gamers. Specifically use that term. They do not identify as gamers because they are not gamers. In fact, you can go back to the original Gamer
Redacted
Gate of 2014 to see a host of articles talking about how gamers are over and gamers don't have to be your audience, the end of gamers, and how bad gamers are. Now, whether you like the term gamer, gamers, or not, it is essentially an accurate term, and there's no reason not to use it. Unless you're counting the fact that anti-gamer propagandists have tried to turn it into a sort of slur. I, for one, don't accept it as a slur. It's part of my identity, but it is not my whole identity. You see, nobody that I know of has their entire identity wrapped up into only one thing. Everyone I know, even people I don't know who are on the internet, appear to have at least multiple sources for their identity in this world. These sources can be their nationality, ethnicity or race, religion, political affiliation, their career, hobbies. There are all sorts of things that you can use to identify yourself for who and what you are and how you came to be. But when it comes to gatekeeping, the idea behind it is that you want to keep out the people who would come into a space you're part of and ruin it. Imagine a bunch of young men came into a quilters meeting with all these people who love quilting, and they talked about how much they hate quilters and how terrible quilting is and how bad they all are and how they should all be ashamed of themselves. So the question then would be, would the quilters welcome these young men, or would the quilters tell these young men to get lost? This is not their hobby. If they're not interested, they can leave. Obviously, the latter. And in the same way, it is our job as gamers to socially, politely, legally tell non-gamers that this place is not for them. If you are not a gamer, if you don't like gaming, if you're not interested in games, you don't belong in the gaming space. Nobody who hates games or doesn't like games should have a voice in the future of games. That's just how it is. Again, another example. Say there's a political party. Well, how many people who hate that political party are allowed to come into that political party's meetings and disrupt the party? Would that make any sense? Would they tolerate them coming in and disrupting their party and trying to destroy it from within? Well, I should hope not. Not if they want their party to continue. And in like manner, if we want this gaming party to continue, we need to gatekeep out the haters, the people who aren't here for the games. And are there people who aren't here for the games? Oh, you bet there are. There are a lot of people who are not here for the games, and it's easy to see. They are here to push their radical, anti-white, hateful, bigoted ideology in any way that they can, and many of them choose comics, movie, media critique, video game critique, They choose all sorts of avenues to come in and spread their hateful ideology. Well, gaming isn't the place for them. We don't want their hateful ideology here. We don't want their anti-white, anti-male, anti-hetero nonsense here. What we want here is to play and enjoy games. And we will criticize games for not being good. We will criticize games for bad gameplay. We will criticize games for bad graphics, and that's fine. We can do that. We'll criticize games for bad performance. We'll criticize games for being exclusive. We'll criticize games for being too expensive. We will criticize games for having microtransactions. We will criticize games for just about anything, because the internet as a whole is bipolar, manic, and schizophrenic, because it consists of everyone who's in the gaming space, who have all sorts of different backgrounds and opinions and ideologies and beliefs. But the only people who should be here are those who genuinely care about and like playing games. And if you agree with that final statement, I would love for you to gently tap the like button, ever so gently tap subscribe, click the notification bell icon, leave a comment down below telling me your opinion. Even if you disagree with me, leave it down below. Because we, as gamers, have an obligation to politely, legally gatekeep out those who hate us and hate our hobby. And I will drink to that. And let me tell you something right now. You know what? Nobody is being gate-kept out of playing Magician on the NES. One of the best games ever released, arguably the best ever. That's arguable, but it's arguable. It's arguable that it's the best ever. If you haven't tried Magician on the NES, well, my friends, you are missing out. You gotta give this one a try. Magician on the NES. Well, let me tell you something. The battery on my camera died mid-sentence while I was shilling my novel, New Tokyo. You see, nobody is being gate-kept out of New Tokyo, the cyberpunk light novel by MarcFoxx, yours truly, that's me. It's available on Amazon and Kindle, Kindle Unlimited, and paperback formats. If you just want to support me and the channel, the Kindle version nets me the greatest profit, but if you want to have the best experience, I recommend the physical paperback. I just love this. I mean, look at this. Look how awesome. Oh, there's no pictures. Sorry, there's no pictures, just the one on the front. You can kind of deduce everything else from this artwork on the front. Isn't that awesome? That's some awesome artwork. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, again, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell icon. Leave a comment down below. Join the channel if you haven't already. And a big shout out to our super real gamers, Drunken Dwarf, Vulpus Persona, and GOTCXX, and Real Gamer for Cornelius Noland. And as always, my friends, for Fox's sake, stay real, keep playing, and never forget, yesterday's tomorrow is today's today.
Ha ha!